I actually had people texting me or sliding in my DM saying, "Oh, you guys are stupid. You don't know Uriah Hall's so too talented for him. He's gonna walk. Strickland's gonna walk right into this and just die and get knocked out and this and that." I'm like, all right, whatever, man.
I had the same thing. I had people saying, why do you give such, so much disrespect to Uriah Hall? It's like, I don't disrespect Uriah Hall at all. I love his skill set, but everything is about the guy you're fighting, and Sean Strickland is not a fancy fighter at all. He is simple basics. Basics are there for a reason. It's because they work. And if you can implement those basics in a game plan and make your opponent fight your fight, you're a tough dude to beat. And Sean Strickland is a tough dude to beat, and especially now because his confidence is really growing. He's getting better as far as believing that, you know what? I'm pretty fucking good at this. I can take on these guys. Doesn't matter what their name is. And he put on a great just basics where he just walked him down. And that's what I thought, when we were talking. I thought the pressure that Sean brings, because he's always wanting to come forward, if he can make Uriah back up, Uriah's going to have a problem because he doesn't fight well going backwards. There's guys that can fight well going off of their back foot. They're few and far between, though, as far as the ones that can really do it well. Especially in MMA. Guys that come forward usually, they're impressive, and Uriah is really impressive when he can come forward. Go all the way back to, not all the way back, not his last fight, but his last real fight was against Anderson, where you could actually see him doing something, and he was losing when Anderson was actually walking him down. He was losing that whole fight, and then finally he switches it and starts to do things that are effective for him, and he's moving forward, and he ends up putting Anderson out of the fight. So it's basics of fighting. When you're looking at it, Sean Strickland, he's not flashy. He's not that guy that you go, wow, look at his body. He's just a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, with Uriah Hall, I felt like his corner was calling for stuff, and he was shut down. Yeah. And when you guys listen to the cornering in that fight, his corner's telling him, "Okay, keep your head offline, move your head, and then throw kicks." He didn't throw any kicks. The one kick he threw, I think in the first round, it landed clean. It almost took Strickland off of his feet. Never did he go back to it. Like those type of things. And when you have someone who walks you down, one of the best techniques to work on is what John Jones does. That little thigh kick to the front of the knee or to the thigh. That's a great kick to use. I've seen Uriah use it before in the past.
Yep.
Or using that push kick up the middle.
Yeah,
when they're walking into something, you just go right up the gut. It doesn't need to be a push kick to push you away. It needs to be like a toe kick, one that goes up into your gut, almost like a Lyoto Machida, and Kung Lee used to use it quite a bit. It's like a jab into the solar plex, and it hurts, knocks the wind out of you. It just sucks. He's got all that. He had all that speed advantage. He just didn't utilize it. You don't want to fight someone to their strengths. And Strickland's strength is really just to walk you down and box your ears off. And so
because he doesn't throw a lot of kicks.
Uriah Hall just stood there. Yeah. And Uriah just stood there. Uriah Hall just stood there and just decided, let's get into a boxing match with a guy who wants to just box me. No. Mix it up.
Yep.
Get off your back foot. Start throwing your kicks. Get your head off the center line. I mean, his corner was pleading with him. Yeah. He didn't make any adjustments, didn't make the adjustments throughout the fight, and it cost him the fight. I mean, there was moments there where every time he kind of got grazed, he ended up backing himself up to the fence. That's not where you want to be. I mean, he's lucky he didn't get knocked out in several of those exchanges.
He got
against
hurt.
The fence. He was already he got hurt quite a bit.
And you got to give him credit though. He got hurt quite a bit. He hung in there, and I do think that I do think he possibly broke the orbital in his eye because it was swelling up that way. He kept on pawing at it a little bit. You look at it, you go, man. When you get hurt with something, and it stays with you throughout the fight. It actually adjusts your abilities during the fight. That's not easy to fight through because mentally you're going, damn, and it's draining on you.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit.
Yeah, I could
fought tough.
I could see it felt like he was looking for a way out a little bit though. After he kept, checking his eye, he kept like kind of touching his nose, like in between rounds right before, and he kept wincing. There was a little I don't know if I wouldn't say he was looking for a way out. It just seemed like he wanted everyone to know that something was wrong. And that's not something you want to show your
No, you're showing your opponent that something's bothering
your opponent. And so I just feel, and I think we've all felt this way, for someone who has all the talent, all the ability, talent doesn't mean shit. Everyone's born with talent. Everyone has some sort of talent in their back pocket. They just have to learn to unleash it and figure out how to make it grow. Uriah Hall has it all. He has the speed. He's got the power. He's got all the ways of putting the combinations together, but he's not able to turn the switch on when he needs to.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad to see. Like it's more, I think now, because the press has made and the media has made it such a big deal about his mental state and whether he's, mentally strong. And I think he's been reading that shit now for the last 6, 7, 8 fights, whatever it is. And it's affecting him the way he performs. All he had to do realistically, I think, was throw the kicks behind his punches, or throw the kicks and then the punches follow up with the combination. I think it would have been a way different type of fight had he done that. He didn't throw any kicks, and that was the thing that I felt like he would have had success. If you kick that hard and that the calf kick is changing the game, what are you doing?
Especially on a guy like Sean that's coming heavy on his front leg.
Yes. I didn't understand. I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that, and when he threw that kick in the first round, it was fast. It was hard. Sean Strickland basically got almost spun around, almost knocked off his feet. I'm like, do more of that. And he just didn't. He didn't make the adjustment. And I'm like, oh, if I was a coach in the corner, I'd be pulling my freaking hair out. Going, what the hell? And I know probably Dana's at home watching that fight going, fuck, man, what are you doing, Uriah? Throw the kicks, man. He's probably thinking, geez. He's probably thinking this is probably the last time I'm putting you as the main event.
Yeah. Well,
37 years old.
You got those
opportunities. He's talented. He's good.
All right. We got to talk about it then, because after the fight, did you listen to Sean Strickland in his presser? Did you hear anything
No, I did
he
not.
said? Okay. He was hysterical in part of it, and in part of it, it's like, Sean, stop. Grow up. Don't say those things. Because he actually said, I would actually like to kill somebody inside the ring. I would own that.
Oh, jeez.
And you go, Sean, no, you wouldn't, because you have to live with that for your entire life. It is not what you think. That is not something to joke about. It would make me super happy or something like that. It's like, hey, all the stuff you want to talk about, porn and everything, go ahead. I don't care. It's kind of funny. It's all good. When you're talking about fighting, we talk about fighters all the time, and it's, can you die? Yeah, you can. It's a possibility. Now, you can die walking across the street from your home too, but when it comes to sports, combat sports are the ones that are the closest to you saying, look, you could really take someone's life, because we're talking about trauma to the person's body, trauma to the brain. There's all these things. And you look and you go, none of those are funny. And none of those are something to say that I would take pride in. You never want to actually hurt someone. And people that have been in that position where they've taken another fighter, a combatant's life based upon a sport, they have a hard time living with it. And to sit there and say that you would embrace that and stop. You've crossed the line. You just made it to where now, you can be funny. That's not funny. Don't joke about those things. That's my one complaint about you, Sean. You performed beautifully. I thought you were funny in the press thing. Get off of that. I would like to do that. It's the fact that you go in there with the mentality, you know what? I'm here to kill my opponent. Go ahead. That's fine. I don't care. You go in with the mentality, look, you'll have to kill me to get me out of here. Go ahead. That's all good. Don't sit there and say that you would be super happy if it occurred. You wouldn't.
100% agree.